What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Chad Arms, a.k.a. Chad D by B.
And my name is Tony, a.k.a. Friday the 14th.
Oh, it's my turn? Yeah. There's so many people here, I didn't know who was going next. What's going on, everyone? I'm Hot Mike Chance.
Oh, it was
That's
nice
it.
and calm.
That's
And I am BJ, the DJ.
And we got my dog. My dog is here. Brandon E. in the building.
Hey, yo.
Yes. This has been a long time coming.
Dude.
I'm excited. I'm super excited. I'm
Yes.
super excited. I'm a huge fan of y'all's podcast, and shout out to all the people watching. I'm just like y'all. I'm one watching this show. It's
Yes.
an honor to be on this side of the table.
This
Hell yeah,
is going to
man.
be fun. I've heard this is my first time meeting Brandon here today, and we've just been chatting it up like we've known each other. Just because I've heard so much, especially from BJ and Chad, about you and everything. It felt like I already knew you and everything. So
It's
this is going to
20
be fun.
years, I think. 20.
Oh, we're 20 years in, for sure.
Yeah,
We're
okay,
20 years
speaking
in.
of that, let's just delve right into this. Let's give a little, throw it back and give us a little history on y'all three, because y'all have known each other for a long time.
Man,
Oh, my gosh.
so, fun fact, I used to work at...
Ding.
I used to work at a place called Media Play. I think we spoke about it on this pod.
Yeah.
I spoke about it on some podcast 100 times.
This
I
one,
don't know if
yes.
it's this one or the other one. But it was like a movie CD bookstore, right? I loved buying rap CDs, buying CDs in general. Well, Brandon used to come in there like on lunch breaks.
All the time.
You and Pudgy, because Pudgy
Yep.
worked there.
Yep.
Pudgy's another buddy that'll end up being on one of these episodes at some point.
Shout out to Pudgy.
Shout out Pudge. And I think that's what it was, bro.
Yeah.
Like
You knew
memories-
Pudgy first.
Yeah.
And Pudgy told me about you.
Yeah.
And then I heard this dude was a beast on the microphone. Surprise, surprise, because he still is to this day.
Yeah. I wasn't then though.
Yes, he actually was.
Yes, he was.
Actually was. Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
So when I was burning CDs and writing on blank
DJ
paper,
Chadro.
DJ Chadro.
I have a couple of those at home.
He still has. I don't even have DJ Chadro.
I do. Oh, I do. For all y'all who think y'all know this dude, y'all know him. I know this dude right here.
Yes, this is why we got Brandon on the
DJ
episode right here.
Chadro, dude. So he was like one of the first people to buy one of my CDs. I was selling them at the register immediately. It was called. I mean, nobody gave me.
It was now you had a plan. Hence the album was called Man with the Plan.
Man with the plan.
Actually, I think about going for that though. Thunder and Lightning.
My
You and-
spell.
Thunder, my spell.
spell.
I have my spell as well. Yeah.
Whoa, we are throwing it way
Yeah.
back here. This is
But
gold.
yeah, and me and Brandon Eastman
Oh,
like brothers ever since then, bro. And then I met BJ like around 2004-ish, 03. I hit him up about a feature.
Chad called me about a song, and at this time when Chad called me, I had some problems with one of Chad's homies, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm talking about, we were throwing shots at each other on songs. We were fighting when we see each
Yeah.
other. A lot of stuff was
Making
happening.
entire beef albums.
Yeah, a lot of stuff was going on. Right? So Chad calls me about the feature. I come through. We knock out a feature. And it was great, and the vibe was cool. I was like, man, Chad's cool people, And
Yeah.
so next thing you know, I start recording more songs with Chad. Mm-hmm. Chad calls me over one day. He goes, man, I got some homies I'd like for you to meet.
Yep.
So I show up, and I'm sitting in a room. Now, granted, Brandon was a part of a group from Cross Plains called Untamed, right?
Yep.
I hung out with some people in Springfield didn't like the Untamed
they
people.
didn't
I
like
had
that.
no clue other than Pudgy who Untamed was, right?
Oh, shit.
I knew there was another white guy with
yeah.
gold teeth.
They
So
like
I'm sitting in Chad's den, and all of a sudden they start going around the room introducing themselves. I'm like, hey, what's up? And they go, yeah, we call ourselves Untamed. And a light bulb went off like, am I being set up here?
We looked right at each other. Because
Chad just sitting
I
there.
was a fan of his music too. I was like, dude, I wasn't. I'm just be honest with you. I'm kind of blunt. I wasn't a fan of most of the music that was coming out, but I was a fan of this dude though. So I was like,
And that,
shit,
he was the first one that looked at me.
Yeah.
He goes, man, you're cool, dude. Don't worry about it. And
Yeah.
I think everyone except one person in the room was fine with me being there, and I won't talk about him at all. But it was like,
fair.
he was. Everyone else was like, yeah, man, you're cool people, man.
'Cause
And
I
I was
really
like, guys, I didn't know. I was just kind of involving myself in the issue, right?
But even then,
Same,
initially,
though.
if they weren't, that y'all, it ended up being cool. Like,
Yeah,
all worked
it
itself
ended
out.
up being cool at the end of
Everybody's
the day.
cool
Dude,
now.
there's
like,
4 high schools in our county.
Yeah.
We represent 3 of the 4.
Right. I wasn't liked in Greenbrier neither, so I couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah, BJ had like 4 beefs with 4 different friends
I
of
couldn't
mine.
go
and
anywhere.
Yeah, but everything's fine now.
Yeah,
But it was
it's all good.
I thought BJ was a celebrity because I was in CD Warehouse at the listening station, and there was a CD, and it was Pimp Style Play Us.
Yeah.
And I heard this dude rapping, and I was like, I asked DJ Foley, shout out DJ Foley. I said, who is this person rapping? He goes, I I think at the time he was the truth at
The
the time.
truth. What about the truth? Yeah.
Yeah, he was at the truth.
Yeah.
He's this is a dude named the Truth. He's from here. I'm like, he's from here. And I saw him have a CD.
I
in the
stayed
store.
at CU Warehouse.
So I thought he was
stayed posted up
Yeah,
there.
I thought he was a celebrity.
Yeah.
And I bought that album, and there was a number on the bag. It was like call for book.
Yeah.
That's how that started.
Well,
But-
I want to say this, and Brandon, I love you to death. Please, you're probably the only person in the world that has the Pink Panther song still. Please don't release that.
Dude, I remember when BJ told me and Brandon about it, and me and Brandon was like, "Dude, this song isn't it." No,
It's bad.
Brandon,
It's bad.
Brandon is honest.
He's super
Brandon will just say what it is. But me and him were like, because me and Brandon lived together
It
when
was-
BJ came out with that song.
It
hardest
was.
song to rap
It
on
was
ever.
Duke
It was
the Dumpster
terrible.
Drosy Trash. Is what that song was.
Me and Brandon was like, "Bro, does he know that he's not on beat?" And I was like, "I can't." The beat wasn't on beat, so there was no way to succeed in that scenario.
But that's one song though, because this
No,
dude,
that
his
was one
music,
out of
his music is
500.
awesome.
That's probably
So,
very few copies of that out there, and I know
I've
he's got his
one.
hands on
I got
one
all
of
of
them.
y'all stuff that y'all want to be hidden under.
But yeah,
He's
like,
just
ground.
waiting on a day.
How much
Just
do I have to
waiting on
pay
a
for
day.
that?
For you,
How much?
$3.99, buddy.
to tie it around too to like the wrestling stuff, because this is a wrestling episode we're doing.
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
Like me and Brandon got to know each other more, and it was like homies or whatever. Then it started being a thing where like, oh, you like wrestling, I like wrestling type shit, and we would just sit and make fun of wrestling, old wrestling hours.
Oh, geez.
All
And this is
wrestlers.
before the network. So
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
just
2004.
Just
And I
just
told
rolling
y'all,
through the
I told y'all the
DVD.
story. Like
Yeah,
I
it was
tried to
pretty
put them on CM Punk when CM Punk was first
This is
starting.
true.
And
This
they
is
kept
true.
telling me he
This
was
is true.
trash. Like he's trash.
You did.
2008,
Yes, this
when
is
we-
true.
the second time me and Brandon and he lived together.
Yep.
BJ kept telling us about this CM Punk guy. Me and Brandon were like, that dude's stupid.
Yeah, I agree. I was wrong. I was way off on that one.
Brandon's never been wrong about stuff.
I was wrong on that one.
And that's one time that because I was just like I don't know, I just didn't get it.
Yeah.
And this was when I started watching it again for a little bit, and then I've kind of been in and out with it. But me and Brandon, and then BJ started coming around, and then we all would watch it and make fun of it.
WrestleMania parties. That's when.
Oh yeah,
we have
we
WrestleMania parties.
used to like just deep dive. I'm talking like just obscure YouTube videos. Yeah, just finding all kind of random stuff that it's not even out today. You can't find them.
Yeah, not even on the network. type
Absolutely,
stuff.
well, absolutely not. So they used to have wasn't it Comcast or Xfinity or something?
WD 24/7.
Yeah, 24/7.
So
They did
I
have
was
that,
one of the
yes.
first ones to have 24/7
Yeah.
when it first came out, and they sent me this limited edition Ric Flair action figure doll that I sold for a few $100. Like many
Really?
years
I don't
ago.
even
wow,
remember
yeah, I didn't know that
What
one
year
either,
was
yeah.
that?
2007,
Yeah,
8,
2007.
around the same time I was
Yep.
talking about when because me and Brandon watched 24/7
Oh,
at
gosh.
that house that we had
All
because
the
it was the
time.
only because we bought wrestling DVDs when they
Yeah.
were brand new. Like,
Oh, yeah.
so we would watch those documentaries and we would go back and watch the old Summer Slams and make fun of everybody. And
I don't think if I remember correctly, I don't think you could go back and it didn't have the library content like it does
No,
now.
no.
It was
It
a
was just
scheduled-
random.
Correct.
Yeah,
It was
you had to
They
watch
had
random.
was
what
it
was on
Legends
there.
of Wrestling or whatever. The
Legends-
round
Round
table.
Table
Watched
was
a lot of
on there,
those.
yeah.
I have those. I'm still on DVD.
Yeah.
Still, I still
Yeah.
have.
All
All
that
that
was
was
on
rid
there.
of. Yeah, those are great. Yeah,
yeah, but
Yeah.
Mo was on a mission.
he was definitely on a mission to be the shittiest wrestler ever.
That was Rumble '93, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, because we
I hate him. I don't care, Mo. I hope you're watching. You suck. You suck.
Coming out hot from the
Go on a mission. You
Shout
can
out Oscar, dude.
meet me on. No, not shout out to Oscar either. He's the second worst rapper to one of the jobbers I actually have on our list today.
Hey, you gotta grab the mic when you.
The funniest
the
thing
hot
was,
mic
like,
has shifted.
I didn't know anything about like Bad News Brown or anything until Brandon kept talking about
Brandon,
it.
R.I.P. Bad News
He
Brown.
hated that
Bra-
man.
Brandon was not a Bad News
I hate
Brown
his
fan.
guts too. R.I.P. He's the Mr. T of wrestling. You think you're tough, but you're not. Actually, Bad News Brown is pretty tough.
He
back-
was really
but
a badass,
Andre
it
backed
seemed
down
like.
from him.
Yeah, it seemed like a
Yeah, I'm telling you, he's gonna have
Andre
to be on
Giant,
every
hell,
wrestling
Hogan,
episode now.
Hogan, I'm not gonna Hogan.
Every episode now.
Yeah, dude.
We're 10 minutes in every episode now.
So now that we've done like the backstory, we're gonna get right into this.
Yes.
This episode is a perfect episode to be the first one we do with Brandon E.
Yes.
And it's wrestling's jobbers.
Yep.
Let's talk wrestling's
Guys, it sucked.
jobbers.
But first,
Enhancement talent.
yeah,
If-
enhancement talent.
If there was a jobber at this table, it would be me.
Hold on. Tell everybody about your little guest you got
the
here.
MVP of
You
this
are the
thing, dog.
MVP fucking
Look,
P of
You
this.
really are.
Oh yeah, tell him about your buddy over there.
Yeah, tell
dude.
them about your mic presence here.
Somebody, am I being punked right now? Because somebody has set Mean Gene. He's pointing his stupid microphone right in my face, and I don't have any news scoops for you. I don't have any information. I don't have any information for the 1-900
I'm sorry,
number.
Chance. I didn't.
Come on.
Dude, that's
And then
gonna
we
be
got-
such a thing on the pod. Him yelling at.
Yeah.
Shout out BJ for bringing.
I love
Mean
Mean
Gene.
Gene. Chance doesn't. I get it.
He's trying to get a scoop, and I ain't got one for him.
got one for him.
So
He swore he had the scoops though, didn't he?
Oh
Yep.
man. Well, this episode's brought to us by Trouble Spirits,
Yep.
Revolution One Media,
Yep.
The Natural Disasters, plus Jimmy Hart, and a new member to the membership. I mean, to the cast of characters. I don't know what I was trying to say.
Yeah, we
But-
got a damn Avengers going. Look at the second.
Yeah, we have another little Mean Gene right here, but
That's mini Gene. There.
we've come to the decision now.
I can probably take that one on.
For every guest that comes on the podcast is going to have a wrestling figure representation of themselves.
So we got to get Brandon E one because he's gonna be back.
Yeah,
Yep.
Brandon D's going to be back. I've got one planned out for Squints.
Oh,
I've got a Sanchez Turner that I'm working on
Uh-oh.
for Jordan.
So to
Backstory.
to fill in Brandon. So Jordan, our buddy Viz, is not a wrestling fan. I mean, he
all.
watched the Attitude Era for like 6
seconds.
months when he was in middle school or high school.
Yeah.
So whenever we would ask him one day, we were like, Jordan, what's your favorite wrestler? Being funny, he just said made up some guy named Sanchez Turner.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like trying to figure out who this was.
That's always been the
So
running
when
joke
you
with
see
Jordan.
the figurine, you're gonna be like, "That's exactly what I think Sanchez."
Sanchez
Turner
I'm
Turner
making
look
it,
like.
I'm making it custom.
We'll be talking movies, and then as soon as me and Tony start talking wrestling, Jordan he just don't because he don't watch it, so
Got
he
you.
just we try to involve him in the conversation. Jordan, who's your favorite wrestler? Sanchez Turner was pretty good.
Boom. So
Sounds like an NXT wrestler name.
Yeah, he does. He's gonna be on. He's gonna be in the semi-main event at AEW.
yeah. So yeah, everybody that comes on is get a. Brandon will have a figure representation. Squints. Everybody will have a figure representation. I think it's.
I mean,
pretty
let's
cool.
just go ahead and say happy retirement to Sting.
Absolutely.
I'm sure he's watching and
Absolutely.
listening.
He is definitely watching.
Sting hit us up and told us he's gonna watch this episode.
Yeah.
So.
That was I will shout this out real quick. That was really cool how he got his sons involved in his
Yeah.
final match and
I
everything.
mean, he's my favorite wrestler. I mean, Ric Flair's always been one that I loved watching his matches. Sting's always been my favorite.
yeah.
I'm a huge Kentucky fan, sports fan. Y'all
And
know
his
that.
son was a
His
beast,
son
yeah.
played at
Absolute
Kentucky.
beast.
Oh, really?
He kind of paid homage to the Kentucky with the blue on
Yep.
and stuff. And that.
Yeah,
That was a big
I
thing,
didn't know
yeah.
he played.
He was a tight
Yeah,
end
he
for
was
the
tight
Kentucky.
end.
Yeah.
Sting was in all the
Really?
games.
Yeah.
And another fun
Holy
fact.
shit.
What is Sting's real name, Tony?
Steve Borden.
What's his last name?
Borden.
Borden boys.
He's a Borden boy.
He-
dog.
He's the ultimate Borden boy. He is the Borden boy. Hold on.
Shout out to
Shout
Borden.
out Sting. Shout out Borden chocolate milk. Hey, we're holy fucking shit. Cut the fucking check. Lord have mercy.
So how y'all want to do this job? Or y'all just want to? We'll just go around the horn
Falling
and
off
We'll
this
just
thing
talk
already.
shit about him. Just throw out a name and we'll start.
let
talking
Brandon kick it
Throw
off.
out- kick it
Okay,
off.
I have
The
no
guest of
problem
honor.
throwing out. Okay, we're gonna go back to Mo
Oh no.
and Oscar.
Oh, Mo.
Like I told you, Oscar, you're the second worst rapper ever because the first one you in the hood was PN News.
Oh.
News was so terrible, dude.
I thought he was so cool. It's myself being let down. I thought he was so cool because back then I didn't know a lot of rappers. He was going, yo, baby, yo, baby, yo.
Yeah.
I was like, this dude's got lyrics. I'm like, but that's all he ever did.
But he set the pace. Like he really
No, he
was the
didn't.
He
voice.
didn't set the pace.
But think about it. Because of him, we now have our truth. Like
And Eminem.
Well, is that really a? Because our truth can't rap either. Our truth can't really rap either. I mean, I guess he can.
our truth can rap.
I think
can,
PN News
yeah.
really got whooped backstage one time. I want to say, I'm being serious. I think it was either Rick Rude or Paul Orndorff. Somebody beat the brakes off him one time. Okay. He got the brakes beat off. I think it wasn't because he sucked as a wrestler. I think because he sucked as a rapper. You know, I'm serious.
Was his intro, whose was worth him or Two Cold Scorpios intro?
I almost put Two Cold Scorpio on the list. I didn't. I actually liked him a little bit. I put Flash Funk on it. PN News is worse. He's worse.
Two Cold Scorpios intro in WCW. Dude, it was.
He did his little dance, looking like
He was
Alfie from
fire
My
in the
Brother and
ring,
Me.
but
He looked
then-
just like Alfie from My Brother and Me.
Scorpio. My brother and me is a whole other conversation.
Sure as hell. Shout out to Goo though. Goo's watching right now.
That was a BJ.
Let me
throw one out for us.
Let me take it back to Memphis wrestling. Right, this is my favorite type of wrestling. We're gonna talk about the one, the only Macho Warrior Rick Hogan.
What? This guy. Macho. Like me. Macho.
Like me, dude.
That picture, you'll see. Everybody will see.
Oh my god!
At first glance, when I
Macho Warrior.
remember this guy debut. I remember watching this when I was a kid.
Oh my god!
I thought it was Tony Falk at first, but it wasn't Tony Falk. It was some other guy. But yeah, this guy.
Oh my god!
He took everybody's.
Not only was he like the worst gimmick ever, he actually won the USWA heavyweight title at some point.
Are you serious?
They actually put the strap on him while he was down there.
What?
I think he beat Lawler for the belt, if
Oh
I'm not
my
mistaken. Yes.
Poor Jerry Lawler.
That is
Yeah.
that is bad.
That's terrible.
That was bad.
That's worse. That's worse. Yeah. Ooh-wee.
Man, I'll go with one. Mike Bell, remember him?
Yes.
Mike Bell. His brother was like a huge weightlifter guy or something. But Mike Bell, the one part I remember about Mike Bell is Perry Saturn beating the fuck out of him in a match.
Perry Saturn.
And then that's when Perry Saturn got matched with a mop after that.
That was Mike Bell. I remember that.
Yes, like he dropped
Yeah.
him on his head a couple times.
Whooped him.
Yes,
Yeah.
because
Was that the guy from Bigger, Faster, Stronger?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mike Bell.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then
remember that.
right after that, McMahon put Perry Saturn with the mop gimmick. I forget where he was had the
Moppy, yeah.
yeah
He
and
talks about
everything.
that in
I got him right
Shooting-
here, Mike Bell. Yeah.
Yeah,
Shout out to Mike.
dropped
Bell.
on it. I mean, he almost paralyzed that man in that.
Yeah, it was
remember
bad. Yeah, I don't know if he just.
But he was a jobber in WWF for a long time.
Long time.
Well, it's
yeah.
well documented too. Perry Saturn's been on record saying he was destroyed
psycho.
on drugs back then.
Yeah.
I've got some friends who live in Atlanta, like outside, suburbs of Atlanta, and they said that like they're in his prime because he lived in Atlanta too. And he like if he was in a grocery store or anywhere and anybody recognized him, he would just drop his stuff and leave.
Wow.
It's great. Yeah,
He just left the store.
So it was like he got like a bad batch
Yeah.
of something he was taking. And
His eyes were always like it's like his eyes were just
Well, I mean, because he's still alive. You look at him now, and
Yeah.
it's just like
Yeah.
he looks like Gollum from Lord of the Rings.
shout out to
looked
God.
like $1 million though when he was ECW.
Oh, he had a body. I
great,
mean, he had a great look to him.
Great wrestler too. I mean,
Didn't he have the Mike Tyson tattoo on the side of his face?
Yeah, he's just some people.
Time out on that. What's y'all's thoughts on this Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight?
It's not going to be real. There's no way he's going to let Mike Tyson hit him in the face.
There's gonna be a
I
no.
just-
There's
no
gonna be a
face.
If this is real, just give me one round, Mike. One
I swear
round.
Jake
Yeah.
Paul is going to absolutely destroy Mike Tyson.
You think so?
It's gonna happen.
That's why they
Jake
call him
Paul,
Hot Mike.
Jake Paul is the best boxer of our
change-
life.
Okay, but Mike Tyson's the best
Hot take.
boxer of all time.
Yeah.
You couldn't pay me enough money to have
70-year-old
Mike Tyson
Mike-
hit me in the
dude,
face. I
Dude,
don't know how
have
he
you
did
seen
it.
these clips of him in the ring here
He
lately?
looks great.
He's not
Mike Tyson could have one arm and have a glove attached to a nub, and I wouldn't let him hit me in the face.
No.
There's
Get
no
this
way.
scoop, Mean Gene.
Okay.
The Paul brothers have revolutionized sports and sports entertainment.
Well,
You got paid. You got paid.
The Paul brothers don't want nothing with Don Flamingo. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Don Flamingo, dude.
I mean, I will say this. I mean, Logan Paul has proved that he can hang in the ring.
absolutely.
He
I
really
dig
has.
him as
Oh,
a
he's a great
wrestler.
wrestler. Yeah, absolutely. And Jake, I mean, Jake can fight though.
Yeah.
But it's Mike
I
Tyson.
love Logan
This is
Paul
Mike
as a
Tyson
wrestler.
for sure.
Yeah.
Like I think
I
Logan
mean,
does
just give me
great.
one
One
three
round.
minutes, Mike.
This is
3
the one I'm
minutes.
this is the one I'm most curious about. I'm
Light him
pretty
up for
excited
3
about it,
minutes.
for sure.
3 minutes, Mike.
And it's on Netflix.
yeah,
It is
and
on
it's on
Netflix, for
Netflix.
sure,
That's what's
yeah.
huge about it.
I'm pretty excited about it.
So,
Do
I don't
y'all
know
know
took us
that?
off the rails
Do
right
y'all
there.
know that we have a Hall of Fame jobber?
Oh,
And it's not anyone you would think it would be. Johnny Rods is actually in the WWF Hall of Fame.
is this true?
Wow.
He's in the Hall of Fame. I don't
He's
know.
trained everybody. He's trained.
Who is
most of
Johnny
your
Rod?
wrestlers.
Who is Johnny
So
Rod?
Johnny Rods
Oh,
is
okay.
best. So he was an enhancement talent from like 1965 to 1985. If I'm not mistaken, he was an ECW World Champion also in the early days of Eastern Championship.
I'm not sure.
I may be.
He's one of the biggest wrestling like trainers.
Yes.
X-Pac.
So
okay.
check this
Everybody,
out.
Yeah, school too.
Yeah.
His biggest claim to fame is he challenged Bob Backlund for the WWE title in '80, and then he challenged Hogan in '85. He is probably one of the most popular jobbers to the stars, but he was inducted in the Hall of Fame in 1996.
Hey, you know
I'll be
what?
damned.
Shout out to Johnny Rods. If you're still living, keep thriving. If you hadn't, R.I.P.
He's.
And we love you.
I think he's in for all the wrestlers he trained though.
Yeah, like
if
as
I'm
a
not
trainer.
mistaken.
I mean, he had matches against everybody: Hogan, Morocco, Morales, Tony Atlas, Bob Backlund, Al Putski,
Shout out Tony
Ken
Atlas.
Patera, Andre. Him and Andre worked a lot together. But I remember, if I'm not
They
mistaken,
did. They
Johnny
sure
Rods
did.
was
They
one of the
did,
first
yes.
ECW champions in the early days.
I believe you are correct on that.
Oh, when it
Yeah.
was Eastern. Talking about
Yes.
before Extreme.
Yeah.
Yes, I believe you
Before,
are
I think
correct.
he was before Snuka and some of those.
You're
guys.
correct.
We got to do an ECW episode.
No.
Yeah.
I wonder if they like these jobbers. I wonder if their record. I'm sure they are. Somebody has probably logged their record.
I have a
somewhere on
record
there.
I mean,
for you.
I would
Oh,
think Steve.
God.
Go ahead.
Well, so we have a tag team job squad. Bill Mulkey and Randy Mulkey.
Oh, God.
They were
I know who you're talking about. The
the Mulkey, the Mulkey
Yeah,
brothers.
I know who they are.
blonde mullets.
At one point, yes. At one point, they were 0-180.
Oh,
and they
jeez.
managed an upset win over a short-lived tag team called the Gladiators, portrayed by George South, who was another jobber,
South is-
and
yeah.
Gary Royal when they were under mask. So, yeah, 0-180.
George South.
The opposite Goldberg Street.
George, didn't he have a documentary on him?
George South?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is there a documentary
Yeah,
on
there is
him?
one.
He was a
actually.
jobber, too, a
He had
well-known
territory.
jobber.
He had territory, right, Brandon?
Yep.
Yeah, George South.
Yeah, well-known jobber.
Yeah.
He kind of looked like who am I thinking of?
They look like they look like the Rock and Roll Express.
Yeah, okay,
Yep,
yeah,
look just
okay.
like the Rock and Roll Express.
Gotcha. That's he was always wearing a bandana.
Yep.
Bandana.
Bandana. Bandana.
I don't know what I was trying
Chance,
to say.
what kind of jobber action you got over there?
I actually have a lot of respect for this dude,
Okay.
Chris Hamrick, and the Hamrick Bump. Has anyone ever seen that?
I have not.
Look up the Hamrick Bump. This dude runs across and he just flat back goes through the ropes and takes a bump onto the floor. Yep.
Oh,
Chris
jeez.
Hamrick. He was in ECW, WCW, and WWE. So
He was famous for that bump right
yep,
there.
that was the
Just
bump.
destroying
Well,
his
I mean,
back.
it was
Yep.
named after him.
Yep.
I mean, he had to be
The Hamrick
famous
Bump.
as a jobber for having your own bump named
It's
after
kind of
you.
like somebody who's
Yeah.
had more back surgeries than Hulk Hogan, too. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he probably can't walk right now. If he still
He
lives.
sounds like a moron.
All that for $150 a night.
If that.
You think Paul paid them that
Hey,
much?
Yeah, they weren't getting paid.
It
that
wasn't
much.
getting paid.
No.
They do have more
No.
bounce
Bouncing
checks,
checks
man.
at ECW.
Dude, it was bad. Shout out to Paul Heyman, though, getting inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
shout out.
Especially in
Goat.
Philadelphia.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that
I'm,
makes sense.
I'm excited about that.
Would y'all say the GOAT of jobbers is Steve Lombardi?
No.
Brooklyn Brawler.
I would.
I would think he's got to be.
It'd be a toss up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got
He's on the
Speaking
top.
speaking of toss up, he also doubled as Abe Knuckleball.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes, he
with
did.
the baseball face paint. Yeah, that was on the episode of Worst Gimmicks that we did and everything.
Yeah, it was.
Where he
That-
had the baseball face paint.
Hey, he was
gimmick.
also
That-
doink, too.
Yeah, he was a
doink.
replacement.
He was yeah.
He had a lot of replacements, though.
Yeah,
Poor
that
guy, man.
that time frame, man. I would say 94, 95 is the worst 2 years ever in wrestling. Am I wrong?
I think it's
Yeah,
a fact, man.
Yeah, it's
like even
rough.
in WCW, it wasn't good
It
in
was
94,
bad.
95.
It
I mean,
was so
Hogan was
bad.
coming over.
But everybody was getting off the roids.
Exactly.
wasn't
Yeah.
good.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right.
Everybody was leaning up. Everybody was getting.
When you had Max Moon and you had who
stair-
else? All that stuff.
Well, I got some of them on this list.
Yeah, everybody. That's because Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart were getting the push right after that and everything because of the steroid
Yeah, just
trials.
steroid stuff. Yeah. Shout out to Ico Pro. I
But
got
even
some at
then,
home.
like-
No, I don't. I wish I had some Ico Pro.
This podcast is unofficially sponsored by Ico Pro.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy though? I remember there being a point where like the jobbers were non-existent. Like you
Yes.
know
Yeah.
before like
When
the
Raw started.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Well, like the jobbers were always the person in the ring when the main guy was coming down. And I remember there was some point where that just stopped. You had people who were
Yep.
losing consistently,
Correct. Yeah.
but you didn't look at them as jobbers
Correct.
anymore. Like,
Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Ziggler.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
yeah.
look at Ziggler as being
No.
a jobber,
Oh,
but
he's
he's
so good.
treated like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He just, I think. Do you think it started when Raw became a thing and it was like on?
I think
Well,
so.
yeah,
Yeah.
at first.
Well, every match
Barry
meant something
Horowitz
at
was
that
on Raw
point.
at first.
Yeah,
wasn't he?
even hell, the 1, 2, 3 Kids started off as a jobber overall and
and
everything.
I'm a
Maybe
nerd
that's
because
what
I just
turned-
remember the
Yeah.
first episode of Raw off the top of my head as we're talking. The main event of the first episode of Raw was Undertaker versus a jobber.
Yeah.
His name is Damien Demento.
Damien Demento.
Yep.
And that's all
all
I
on my
remember from
list.
him.
Did Demento do anything after that, or was
That's
that what
the
he was
only
known?
match I remember from him.
Shout out to Mel, by the way. Does he not work at the Blue Roof?
Hey, he may cook the sweet sour chicken in Blue Roof.
He's making sweet sour chicken in Blue Roof right now.
Shout out Damien
Shout
Memento, dude.
Yeah. I hate his guts too. So.
I'm wondering. I guess y'all
is
don't really
greatness.
need to know the results of that match. Pretty sure Undertaker got the
I
W
believe he
in that.
won that. Pretty.
Yeah, that's the only thing I ever remember from him.
Well, you had so many jobber matches in because all those matches were so quick because they were only on TV for an hour.
Exactly. It was just an hour
Like,
there.
like
Yeah.
wrestling challenge.
But
Prime
that was
time.
also the first time I'd ever seen an upset because 1, 2, 3 Kid beat
Yeah.
Razor
Yep.
Ramon. I remember watching that.
Oh,
live.
I mean, yes, had that happening. That was it's like what the
Well,
hell?
yeah,
is
because
that?
the finishing
Exactly.
move was like when he
A
did
moonsault.
the
Moonsault
moonsault, but then they did like the 69 pose.
Yeah.
It got really awkward there.
He was Lightning Kid before that.
But I think that's
Yeah,
probably.
definitely.
I think it's when they started going to the 2 hours plus.
correct.
then
and
the jobber
everything.
went away.
Because there was some
everything
jobbers
mattered.
on like that first 1 hour.
Yeah,
Raw.
because the matches, those jobber
Yeah.
matches were just so quick. Other than your main events.
They were just trying to highlight their stars.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
try to get as many of them in as they could.
And I think that's probably a good reason why the jobber.
I remember it being more prominent in WCW, like
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
Nitro in Nitro's early days. I remember there being more jobbers presented.
I got you a great jobber match here.
Oh boy.
Brian Anderson versus Terror Rising.
Oh, terrorizing! Shout out to Triple H over here.
Paul. Shout out Paul.
Terrorizing.
The Road Dogg versus Triple H in WCW.
Oh man.
Shout out to Oz too, by the way.
Wearing a Ribera jacket.
Terrorizing.
I've got one pulled up right here
Terrorizing.
from WCW. El Dandy.
Oh,
Dandy.
I forgot about El Dandy.
El Dandy.
Oh my God, El Dandy is hot trash on July.
Look at him, dude. Look at this guy. He was one of the few luchadors that didn't wear a mask.
Oh, yes, yes.
El Dandy, yes, that was a good one.
Because
Right
he wasn't
there.
any good. They didn't even
Look,
classify him
this
as a
says
luchador.
he was portly, maskless, and if I can remember correctly, his primary move included being punched and kicked by slightly more successful jobbers. So he was a jobber to the jobber.
Oh my God, Jobber to the
He was
jobber.
a bottom bitch, is what he was.
Yes. Oh man.
Shout out to El Dandy.
Yeah,
Dude.
shout out
El
to him,
Dandy.
man.
If we
El
named
Dandy.
episodes, that's what this one would be called.
I got another WCW jobber.
Give it to me.
Jumpin' Joey Maggs.
Joey Mag.
Yes,
Jumping Joey
Yep.
Mag.
Joey Mag.
He was a high flyer though.
Oh yeah, he flew so
I mean,
high.
he'd get a couple of good moves in, and then it was over for him.
It was over.
Yep.
He flew
He got his 2 spots in, and
Yeah.
then it's like, nah, it's time to cut you
I
off.
mean, his
Yep.
name's Jumping. You got his first name's Jumping. His middle name's Joey.
I'll keep it WCW for you. Shout out to Lash LaRue.
Lash
Lash
Larue.
LaRue.
Yep.
I think that's one shout out to Jason Reigns. I think that's one that he would probably.
That's his
Yeah.
go-to.
Oh yeah,
That's another
one of his
person.
go-tos.
That's another one.
Yes.
We got to get Jason on one.
Oh,
of those
shout
too.
out Jason.
Yeah,
We
shout out to
know that.
Jason. What's up, dude?
Yeah,
Oh,
He
dude,
was
I
another
can't-
part of the wrestling
Yeah.
parties we used to have.
Oh
too.
yeah, he's
I'll
belly
give
ache
y'all
laughed
a-
with us with Shockmaster stuff many times. So.
I'll give y'all our more recent jobber here. Then Heath Slater. When he did with the Job Squad, and then when he was doing the jobs to all the returning superstars.
I loved that.
I'm
gimmick.
just trying to
did too.
feed my
That was great.
kids.
I gotta feed my
Brock
kids.
Lesnar, I don't give a damn about your kids.
Shout out Heath Slater, not Keith Slater, like I said.
I said Keith Slater. Yeah.
No.
Is Heath Slater still wrestling anywhere?
Yeah.
Independent.
Yeah, he's independent. Yeah,
Is he
I think
TNA?
he's in. I think he's TNA.
He
Yeah,
was at TNA at one point. I think he may have made a trip to NWA.
Okay.
but Dolph
briefly.
Ziggler's in TNA now too. So
Who was that?
Dolph Ziggler's in TNA.
Dolph
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Dolph will do well
How
there.
is it doing compared to AEW?
It's a
Oh,
shit
that's
show. It's
Yeah.
25 people in the crowd.
Yeah, I don't see how they pay.
They mask it.
people.
They
got some good
actually
people, but
they
yeah.
TNA actually
matches
records
are-
in a room about the size of this. So.
But I feel like I feel like WWE is some in cahoots with them because like the last 2 or 3 years they've had
feel like they're
TNA
doing
people
when
in the
they
Royal
had
Rumble.
their last pay-per-view,
Yeah.
Triple H and
Yeah.
a couple of the WWE people were there.
Yeah, Jordan
Up-
Grace was in the Royal Rumble this year.
Yeah,
She's
I
the
think-
TNA
Well, they've
champion.
done that the last couple years. Like
Yeah,
they had
Mickey
Mickey
James,
come in.
yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, Mickey
But
was
she
an
was
obvious
from
choice.
there. Jordan
Yes.
Grace has never been there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I
And,
was-
and she was the TNA champion
Correct.
going
Yeah.
into
Do you
it.
think,
So,
do you
too.
think maybe they're using them kind of like like a farm league kind
Like
of?
how
like how they
said-
used ECW
Yep.
back in the day.
I guess so. It's weird. Yeah.
Yeah,
they're
it's-
just-
I
the
mean,
whole-
who? So what is Tommy Dreamer running TNA right now?
I think so.
He just is it TNA? I know he just
I
got
think
some.
he's
yeah,
running-
I think you're right.
WWE
Yeah.
since he
Yeah.
came
Yeah.
over.
So I mean, who knows? You know, who knows?
Yep.
Shout out to Tommy Dreamer. I like
No.
him.
Yeah, Tommy Dreamer's a.
Yeah, he's dope.
He's
I got one of my favorite jobbers here. I got Reno Riggins.
Oh my God.
Got him on my list.
Double R, the
Tennessee guy.
original
He
double
is
R
a Tennessee
before Rough
guy.
Riders.
He's a
Reno
Memphis guy.
Riggins.
Reno Riggins.
He really is.
Yeah, he was
I
a
saw him at
superstar in
Shoney's.
Memphis.
I saw him at Shoney's.
Was he-
Was he busting
Was he
Was he
tables?
changing
No.
out the powdered eggs?
busting the tables?
That
Changing
double R,
up the
dude.
powder.
Dude, them Shoney's powder days make you want to slap kick.
Yeah,
you
Oh,
sit
but
there
that
long.
dude, and you throw that gravy on top of
Oh,
it from
my
this
You
God.
just had a
breakfast
big
bar.
old orgy of Shoney's breakfast, dude.
Dude, Shoney's breakfast used to hit so
It
fucking
did.
hard
Let's go to
back
Shoney's
then.
It-
tomorrow.
it-
I'm
it
down.
did.
Let's go. Where is
I'd
the
go.
Shoney's? Where's the Shoney's?
Is one in
Clarksville.
Springfield?
Clarksville.
Yeah, Clarksville does got one.
There used to be one
It's new in Clarksville. I
over
think
by
they
the
think it's a new
airport.
restaurant.
but
That's
that was
fancy. That's
closed.
fancy dining in Clarksville. So, yeah.
But that Shoney's breakfast bar with that nacho cheese for
the
the
cheese
eggs.
sauce put on the
Yes.
eggs make it
Yeah.
taste better. The cheese, yeah, I had
that
to,
cheese
man.
you put on the potato.
There wasn't no salt and
yeah.
pepper to save my life.
That's
Try to make the
another
eggs taste
spot that me
good.
and Brandon
so.
used to hit up a bunch. That Shoney's breakfast bar.
we did
dude.
all the time.
It's good for your immune system.
We had immune, all right.
It's
We
good
had
for-
something.
It's good
clean
for
you up.
if you need to be cleaned out. It's good. for
Old
that
Country
too.
Buffet. Shout out to that.
Oh,
Yeah.
are you with me?
We had a good life. Such a good life.
Reno Riggins, dude.
Yeah.
It's dope to see him still getting some work though.
Hey.
Shoney.
I mean,
I got his autograph too.
I'm gonna need you to show us. I'm gonna need you to prove
show
it.
off.
I'm gonna find it.
I'm calling Cap.
I got it there. I got it there. I went up to him and was like, Mr. Riggins, can I get your autograph?
He's like, I don't know how to write.
He's like, somebody knows me.
He's like, what?
Right.
Who are you?
Well,
So would y'all say that Randy Orton's probably one of the greatest wrestlers of all time?
I
Oh
think
yeah, you
so.
got to put it.
For
Yeah,
me, he is.
modern
It's not even a que-
wrestlers.
It's not even a question, really.
I
Yeah.
love
Would you say that his dad is another iconic legend in the business as
Of
well,
course,
Bob Orton?
Yeah.
Cowboy Bob
Then let's talk about his trash ass uncle, Barry. Let's talk about Barry Orton.
Barry Orton.
What a
Okay.
setup.
Played
What
by
a setup.
Barry O.
Barry O. You're trying to make it smooth. I'm Barry O.
That's where the O came from. That Randy Orton used to do when he first started.
Yep.
His uncle did that. So,
Oh Lord have mercy.
yeah, brother of Hall of Famer Bob Orton Jr., uncle of Randy Orton.
Imagine
Oh, that's
being,
pretty
Wow.
dope. That's pretty dope.
imagine being in the shadow of not only your brother but your nephew.
Seriously, though.
Well, I think
Now, if
Barry
I'm not
Barry
mis-
Windham had a jobber brother
Kendall?
as well.
Kendall Windham.
Yeah.
Oh, he was
Yeah.
trash too.
Kendall was trash. Yeah,
If I'm not mistaken,
he is-
Barry O
yeah.
was the one that got caught up in the whole Pat Patterson thing back in the day.
Really?
Barry O was
Oh,
that
he got
guy.
M-worded?
Interesting.
He was that guy. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Interesting.
Pat
So-
Patterson used to bend them boys over, though. R.I.P. Pat Patterson.
Stand out of
I
that
didn't know
one.
the mic was on.
Get it in, son. Get it in.
He gave us the Royal Rumble, though. So.
No, he definitely did, dude. That's Shawn Michael. R.I.P. Pat Patterson. That man did not know how to put an S at the end of a word. He's like, "Are you gonna go get the French fry?"
Poor Pat Patterson. Oh, my God.
Brilliant wrestling mind though, but couldn't speak. I mean, I know this was his second language, but put
Oh,
an
yeah, I
S
didn't
on
think about
something.
that. That is true, though. That
Leave the
is
boys
true.
alone either.
Yeah, everything was singular. He didn't know what
Everything
plural
was. Shout out to Singular phone service, too, by the way. Yeah, shout out to Singular.
Shout out Singular Phone Service for still coming through and giving us some of that
Can you hear
good
me
old
now?
shit.
No, I can't.
Singular Phone Service, dude. That was the shittiest cell phone
It was
service.
terrible.
They're a sponsor.
No, it was worse than
Terrible,
cricket.
dude.
It was worse than cricket, man.
They're a sponsor.
We're sponsored by Singular Phone Service and
In
Ico
Old
Pro,
Country Buffet.
Yeah.
Old Country Buffet is Singular.
dude. Shoney's on Wilma Rudolph.
We got another episode to do after this.
Oh, my God.
This is our best episode we've done.
Oh, man.
53 episodes in. This is the best one.
Oh man.
Tony, hit us with some of that jobber magic.
Okay, what about the gambler from WCW?
Oh man. Is that the guy that came out with the cards?
Oh, my God.
Oh boy.
You said it earlier. WCW had
They were
these
terrible.
jobbers
Yes.
and just
You think that was
did.
Dusty that was making those?
it had to be.
Probably.
And the fact that they actually had a power plant, they could have actually had wrestlers they could have actually done something with, and they couldn't do nothing
It
with.
was
Yeah,
like,
the
it
Saturday
was like
night
the
show that they
performance
had.
center
Was
before.
the Saturday morning
Actually
show
had
that they
legit
did.
performance.
Yeah.
Was where I noticed I saw a lot of these guys. Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
With WCW Saturday night, that's what I used to always watch with
All
my
the time.
pop all. Did they have jobber matches then, or was that all just?
Oh yeah, you had a big star versus
Yeah.
somebody.
It was.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
And then you
would
had a main
your
event.
Main event was like two okay
Well, that's
people.
just-
it was like
Call it
Tom
like it
Zink
is.
and
Yeah.
Let's
The
just call it
Z-Man.
like it is. During that era, 95% of WCW's wrestlers were jobbers.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
The
Facts.
Z-Man. The Booty Man. Are we being serious? Sergeant Craig Pitbull Pittman.
Sergeant Craig Pitbull. Who?
I'm Pittman. Exactly. Exactly.
He was WCW's like Mr. Hughes at the time. That's who he was.
God, a poor man's Mr. Hughes.
The poor man's Mr. Hughes.
I had that
Mr. Hughes
loser
was
on my
a jobber.
list, too. I had him on my list.
Is
by the way.
Mr. Hughes the one that used to come out with Triple H?
He had like the suspenders
Yep.
and like
Yeah.
the white.
Yeah.
Triple H had somebody to come out with him.
Yeah, I think
Yes,
it was
Before
yes,
China.
yes, flat
Before
top,
China.
black outfit with like the shades on. Everything
Yeah,
off.
before China, he was.
He got replaced.
I'm crying. I'm freaking crying.
Mr. Hughes, dude.
I like to give a really jobber shout. Somebody actually I personally know him, but I'm sorry, you are trash. It's Colorado Kid.
yes, Colorado Kid. Yep.
I do know
Colorado
what he
Kid.
does for a living. I see him all the time. He paints apartments. I'm being serious, and
I have
talked
his
to him.
autograph too.
I'm sorry for you.
signed an invoice the other
He's
day. I
a
got
good
his
guy. I have had to sign his invoice for him. He's a great guy. He's a great guy. But
Chance
you,
has got an autograph section collection of
yeah, you
jobbers.
do. I know you do, man.
But
I'm
hey,
kinda
what's
jealous.
funny about Mike Rapata is I remember was it USWA at the time or was it CWA? It was one of the Memphis territories. Made a big deal about him being signed to WCW.
Yep.
They had a farewell show for him and everything, and then he goes to WCW and he's jobbing out to everybody. So.
This is how bad he was. He was the poor man's Eric Watts.
Yep.
And that's bad when you're the poor man Eric
He
Watts.
was yeah.
He sucked too.
Yeah. See, at that point when TNA came around, though, like they were just throwing it's like spaghetti at
They
the wall,
were.
trying to see if
They
it'll
were.
stick. Right?
They were,
They
yeah.
they were bringing in everybody who was anybody and seeing if it was.
I was a sucker for
Wait,
it though.
I was too.
Yeah.
It was
I
local,
was-
man.
I
Wait,
loved it whenever
And
you
I
see
sang.
someone from.
Wait. Mike's, what'd you say his name
Mike
was?
Rapata.
That's his real name.
Isn't he the dude that sang the "Just Another Day"? Or was that John? That was John Cicada. Never mind. Just another day.
Shout out to John Cicada.
I think me and Brandon used to bump John Cicada back in the day.
Dude, that's so funny.
I heard the name and it was like the way BJ said it, one syllable first name.
And I know everybody watching
Rapata,
this show.
Cicada.
None of y'all are going
Tomato,
to
tomato.
these people.
gonna
Have
put
your
all of it
Google
on the
machines
screen.
ready. You're going to have your
Yeah.
Google machines ready for this episode.
Yep.
John Cicada had low key had some heat rock.
Oh, yeah.
catalog,
Actually,
yeah.
take it back. Don't have your Google machines ready. Ask Jeeves, motherfuckers.
Jeeves was a privileged son of a bitch. White privilege.
So, man,
It was
you-
Google for
you
the
just
white
sitting there
privilege.
Right there at the search bar for you like this.
Are you using Google? No, I'm using Ask Jeeves. Ask with your pinky out. Jeeves, dude.
Al, they're sponsoring this episode.
Yeah.
So you gotta be nice to them. So.
Move over. Look, Trouble. It's been a good run.
Yeah,
Ico Pro, Ask Jeeves, and Singular Wireless are now the sponsors.
Of the
Okay,
show.
Corral too. That
Old country buffet. Old country buffet.
Yeah.
Chance, you got one over there for us, man.
I got bouncing off of the Colorado Kid. I got another local independent legend. He just retired this year, but he was on Raw at the beginning of Raw. Gary Scott is his name.
Gary Scott.
Yep.
Wow.
Also known locally as Boogie Woogie Boy
Yep.
Gary Valiant.
Yeah.
The boogie woogie boy, Gary Violent.
Yep.
Fake ass Dusty Rhodes.
But
know,
he
I've
wrestled
heard-
Razor Ramon, Owen Hart, the British Bulldog, Shawn Michaels.
Gary Valiant.
Yeah.
I forgot about him
Was he
jobbing
thinking
for
about
WWE.
Johnny?
Yeah,
I
Jimmy
forgot
Valiant.
about that.
I know
Yeah.
exactly what
Johnny.
he's talking about.
Yeah.
Boogie-
I forgot
I hear him
about
on
him jobbing.
podcasts sometimes. He's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like him.
Yep. Good worker. Good worker. Just, it was just his size. It was
Boogie
just his
Woogie.
size.
It's true though. I'm on his team on that. Yeah.
Chance is just nonchalant. Good worker.
I got his autograph.
I
too.
bet you do.
Of course you do, Chance. Of course you do.
Man.
Let's talk. Can we talk about Gilbert?
Yep.
Yes, yeah.
Gilbert was the
Was that not a great gimmick though?
Dwayne
Like,
Gill.
amazing.
Yeah.
Dwayne Gill. Yeah.
Dwayne Gill. As a jobber though, he was trash, but as
He
Gilbert,
played that role really good.
he was iconic.
Yeah, he
played that
get-
role good.
well,
I mean,
before he
pissed
bec-
Goldberg off in
Yeah.
real life.
Yeah.
Before he was
Oh,
Gilbert, I mean, he'd just get tossed around.
And he wanted that match with Goldberg to end it. Like,
Yeah.
just come out there and just demolish me. And Goldberg didn't want to do it.
No.
I'm like, man, like,
It's the same thing when when the whole Jericho and Goldberg feud. Like
Yep.
he wanted no part of the joking of Jericho.
Yeah.
I
It's
just,
like,
Yep.
I just watched that A&E biography on Goldberg, and it was good. But some of the stuff that he did, like you can tell that he regrets kind of the way he used to be.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, especially with the Bret Hart thing, I know that
Yeah.
I don't know how much of that was him or it was just the situation, but Goldberg seemed like back then he was a total douche.
oh yeah,
I love Goldberg.
Did you watch
but
the match with him and Steven Regal When
Regal worked him.
He worked.
him.
He did.
Works his
I'm
ass.
shocked Regal hasn't been put in the Hall of Fame. Regal
deserves
is
it. Should
a
come.
And
worker.
who'd you say got in there earlier? Johnny Rods.
Johnny Rods
And
is in the Hall of Fame.
John Tenth is not in the Hall of Fame.
Dude,
I think
that,
that's
look,
so
that
true.
John Tenta episode
Of
was
Dark Side of the-
so sad.
Dude,
Yeah,
it is
that's-
so
yeah.
sad at the end.
Earthquake, I would have
Yeah.
came to your funeral, dude.
I
I would
would've,
have sang. I would have sang Billy Ocean at your funeral. Dude.
Yeah.
I miss Earthquake.
Dude,
man. That's one of
that-
my favorite big men, dude. I hated seeing
I-
that.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
he was one of the good guys in the
Yeah,
wrestling.
He
dude.
really was.
And
like
the fact
one-
that nobody called, that shit's sad,
Nobody
man.
sent flowers.
It's a dark industry for sure. And
yeah.
the deep root of it all. It's a really dark.
It was a totally different episode than what you're used to seeing on Dark Side of the Ring because it's, dude, he was working in the big and tall
He didn't drink.
section.
He didn't
What I
drink.
found
Didn't do
was-
drugs.
What I
none of
found
that.
was
so sad.
eye-opening was what Jake Roberts said when he says, "You leave on Vince McMahon and you pay for it."
Yeah,
I mean, like he said, he brought him back and put him under a mask
yeah.
instead of bringing him
true.
back.
But I mean-
in.
That's so
But-
true.
I mean,
But
That's
yeah.
so true.
Warrior, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
I mean, some people can get away with it because they've got the star power.
And I know Warrior is not John Tenta. I get
Right.
that. That's what people are going to say.
Sure
but-
as hell ain't. John Tenta was actually good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
damn right.
yeah, dude.
Damn right.
Yeah, but
That's why I mean. If I'm comparing Sting and Warrior, like Sting is light years ahead
Sting
of Warrior.
is
Oh,
the most
like-
classiest.
yeah.
Him and Ricky Steamboat are probably the two most class personified guys in the history of the
You can't find like a committed, like faithful
Oh, he's great.
guy in the business.
Yes.
And you watching anything on Sting, you
Oh, yes.
got to commend his faithfulness to a company.
Right.
He was
Absolutely.
with
Very-
he could have left
very
up.
loyal.
He could have left.
Same with
up-
Shawn Michaels.
Yes. Yeah.
True. That's a good point. If we get back on the
jobbers.
the topic of jobbers, there is a very iconic jobber who was a part of a very iconic group. That's the one, the only Mr. Paul Roma.
Oh,
dude, I don't hate any.
The Four Horsemen
I
does
hate
not
Pa-
claim Paul Roma.
I hate Paul
Here we
Roma
go.
more than I hate any wrestler ever.
I can understand that.
I hate him.
He
had a
I
tag.
hated him. but
Grab that
Brandon,
mic. Grab that mic. Oh shit.
uh-oh.
Brandon knows why I hate him. Paul Roma walked around like he was God's gift to women in the wrestling business. Paul Roma couldn't out wrestle me.
Preach.
Paul Roma couldn't out wrestle a paper sack.
Preach.
He walked, and they had the nerve to put him in the Four Horsemen.
The nerve.
The
And
nerve.
none of y'all said that was one of the best inclinations of the Horsemen. did you?
Absolutely not.
You
No.
had a different one.
I did. I had,
But
the,
it didn't have Paul Roma.
No.
Paul Roma fucking sucked. Hercules was the shit.
Yes.
You ruined the tag team there. You injured people.
Yep.
You're a
He's
piece
not
of
lying.
shit, Paul Roma, and whoop me. Whoop me, Paul Roma.
You ain't gonna whoop no motherfucking
Now,
body.
wait,
you know
he-
why? You know why you're not going to nobody? Because I'm here. You
know-
I'll whoop your ass.
But
Paul.
he had a tag
Roma's
team
pizza.
partner that was a jobber also.
The only thing your last thing ever did was make some good.
Yes, the
pizza.
only
had
thing you
nothing to
did
do
was
with it.
provide my damn wings on Sundays when I watched the Titans play.
He had a tag team partner that was also a jobber, and I'm drawing a blank on his name.
It was probably him.
They were the Young Stallions. Who was his tag team partner in the Young Stallions?
Oh,
Was it
that's a
Tito
cool name.
Santana?
Completely ripping off Bill and Ted. Wild Stallions, Young Stallions.
Um,
Not creative.
what was his
You're
name?
a bitch.
What was his name? Jumping Jim Bruns? Not Jim Brunzel.
That's a hot take on Paul Roma.
Sorry, Paul Roma.
no, Paul Roma.
Jim Powers.
Jim Powers. I said Jim Brunzel.
Jim Powers. That's who it is.
Anybody that's a fan of Paul Roma, I question you as a human, as a parent, as a citizen, as just a human being.
He sucked.
Boom. Roasted.
Yeah, Mike dropped on you, Paul Roma.
Fuck
Yeah,
Paul
Jim
I
Roma.
got
Powers
you
was
back.
the one I was thinking about. He was a jobber too, though.
Yeah,
Jim Powers.
He wasn't.
I liked Austin better. Jim Powers.
Oh man.
What about Big Vito from WCW?
What was his? Man.
I can't tell you what his, but he always came out. He had the Italian.
I remember.
singlet
Yeah, I remember.
on and all
Big
that.
V.
But he'd always losing. He's
yes.
a big guy, always losing to the other big guys.
Yeah, Vito was trash. I don't remember too many guys. He came from WCW. Was he not
Yeah.
full-blooded Italian?
He probably will. Yeah,
believe so.
FBI's.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was FBI's. See, I don't remember too many jobbers coming from ECW.
Well, they were all jobbers except for the Dudley.
I
mean, come on,
really
now.
were.
Where do I start? though?
You got Scotty Flamingo. You got Dean Douglas. Like
Shout out
all
to my
of them.
buddy might actually be watching this because I'm being serious. We really are cool. What's up, Joe Gertner?
Joe Gertner.
That's
Joe
my
Gertner,
dude right
dude.
there. Real
Shout
life.
out to
Real
Joe
life.
Gertner.
That's my dude. He's the
was
biggest
great with the
Jacksonville
promos.
Jaguars fan I've ever met in my life. I met him at a Titans game. He was there at the Titans-Jags game.
Yeah.
He was the only fan there that had all the Jaguar stuff on.
Oh,
He's
wow.
like a fan.
Wow.
We follow each other on Twitter. He's
That's
Nice.
dope. Shout out to Joe Gutman.
Yes.
Cut some dope promos.
I like Joe Gutman. He's dope.
Yep.
Who you got?
We
Who you got,
Scoops
Chance?
in with this, with bringing Brandon in here.
He's cool. Dude.
Iron Mike Sharp.
Iron Mike
When you
Sharp.
asked about the the GOAT
Yep.
of between Brooklyn Brawler, I was saying and said heads and tails. I thought Iron
Yep.
Mike Sharp was tails.
Yeah, Iron Mike
He had a
Sharp,
wonderful
dude.
mullet.
Yeah.
You know,
And I always remember the wristband or those.
I feel sorry for him a little bit. You always hear, I always listen to like podcast stuff, and I always say like he would get locked in the arenas after the shows was over. Because he was the biggest OCD wrestler ever, and he always had to shower before and after the match.
Oh, wow.
And he had to like clean and like run laps and all this stuff after, just like stand and like. Everybody left and went home. They said he literally got locked in auditoriums and arenas
Lord.
all the time.
Wow.
Yeah,
Mike Sharp.
that's a true story. Yeah, true story.
Shout out to Mike Sharp and shout out to obsessive compulsive disorder. Hopefully, he got that
They
under
said
wraps.
he was like nice. They say he was a super nice guy. Nobody has anything bad to say about him, but he just like
I mean, you guys are completely ignoring another component in this whole GOAT conversation when it comes to jobbers. I mean, you've mentioned
I know where you're
you
going.
mentioned Brooklyn Brawler. You mentioned Iron Mike Sharp, but y'all are forgetting to mention Mr. Barry Horowitz.
Oh man!
Fun fact: Barry Horowitz used to be a patient in my mom's doctor's office in the 90s.
I remember hearing that.
I used to brag about it to Brandon all the time. And Brandon's like, I don't give a shit. About he autographed something back in the day. Of course, I've lost it.
Let me guess, you have his autograph as well.
Nah, I never.
Nah,
got
that's a
the-
little too
I
low
never
scale.
got
That's too low
that.
scale for his autographs.
I'm pretty sure Mom told me that he used to talk about how when people would come up to him that like it kind of would get on his nerves about him being a jobber.
I mean, but
He finally had some success though.
No, he
He won
did.
a
He
couple-
did.
I think he beat
Chris
Skip.
Candido or Skip.
yeah, we talked about that on one
I
of the
heard
episodes.
that.
He
Yeah.
got on a SummerSlam and a Survivor Series.
He was on a pay-per-view or
Yeah,
something.
he
was
But
on
then he
Jim-
goes to WCW and he jobs over there.
Well,
Yeah.
like,
with his little.
I have another jobber that was on one of the biggest pay-per-views,
Okay.
WrestleMania 1.
I know who
That's
you're talking about.
the Executioner.
Buddy
Buddy
Special
Rose.
delivery.
Buddy
service.
Rose, Playboy Buddy
Executioner.
Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then there was the tag team, the Executioners, and that was Dwayne Gill and
Under the mask.
got to go to my notes.
Look at him scrolling.
Wayne Gill's got two
Yeah,
shout outs.
he's got
Oh. Barry Hardy.
Wow.
I
Wow.
don't know Barry Hardy, but
Long lost. He's
He's
the
long lost
Hardy
Hardy
boy.
boy, yeah.
Uncle, second uncle.
yo,
He's
I
like
see your Barry Hardy, and I raise you Tex Slazenger,
oh,
who would go on to become Midian.
there you go.
Wow.
And then run around naked. shortly
Yeah,
after.
that was good. That was good. I raised your Tex Slazenger with a little bit of Mantar.
Mantar was fucking awesome.
I think he was first managed by Judge James E. Cornette.
I don't understand how he could see through that.
couldn't
see. The motherfucker couldn't see. I told him, I said, motherfucker, if you don't hurry up, you're not going to get no double cheeseburger. Extra mayo, motherfucker. You ain't no Cocoa Bean way. You Mantar, you can't see shit. Here at the Midnight Express and Rock Roll Express, I can watch them wrestle an hour marathon every night. Motherfucker.
I feel bad for anyone who has ever been a jobber at some point in their life in wrestling because it just doesn't lead to a life of success, right?
Think about it, though.
It's just it doesn't.
You're
I mean,
talking about like people who actually main evented like the earthquakes and stuff who didn't have money and stuff. Think about what jobbers did.
Yeah.
I'll
True.
pay $25 a night or some shit.
It's terrible.
it's
Or a
awful.
hot-
Stomp
or a
to
hot
get
dog.
clotheslined,
Yeah.
get their heads knocked
Get
off.
your ass whooped by Dynamite Kid every night.
Right,
Like,
like
hard
like with
pass.
Jack
No.
Foley. Like
Yeah,
going,
yeah,
I mean,
he did,
Speaking
yeah.
about jobbers, Mick Foley got his like jaw separated.
Yeah.
by
By Dynamite Kid as Jack Foley.
or Jack. Yeah, Jack Foley.
Jack
yeah.
Foley, yeah, he did.
Well, then you've got the story of Hardbody Harrison.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
HBH?
jobber.
Oh yeah. And in
I
prison
mean,
forever.
And then now he's in prison for forcing people into.
Yes. Great episode on
Bad
that. On
stuff.
one of my favorite podcasts, Crime and Sports.
Yes.
That episode is
Yeah.
listen to that. If y'all ever
Hard
listen to that
Body
podcast,
Harrison. I don't know that.
he was in
guy?
WCW. Yeah.
Okay, that's
You will
fine.
see his face. You'll recognize him.
Look at that guy.
He was like several people we've made rap songs with back in 2005.
I can only imagine what he's in jail for then.
Oh,
the R word, I'm
you listen to
sure.
Crime and Sports ever? Go back. Oh,
No, it's the
dude.
P word.
It's
He
it's
was
bad.
forcing girls into
Yeah,
the P word.
it was bad.
Yeah.
He's
Where
never
they got
getting
paid
out.
for their services.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's scum.
We can say that?
Yeah.
They were forced into prostitution.
They didn't have
he
a
was
choice.
he was pimping them hoes, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the
Godfather.
original Godfather.
He was
He was the real life.
That's horrible.
I think Godfather. Watching Godfather's interviews, he seems like he's really about that life in real life.
Oh, yeah.
He runs,
And he
a,
lives
he
in
runs a
Vegas.
strip club.
Yeah.
Him and Disco Inferno.
And one just popped up on this list when I was looking at this up. One of them popped up, and I didn't know he's a very, very successful, very respected referee. Mickey J was a jobber. He was enhancement talent, and I had no idea. When I saw it, I was like, "Wait, that's the referee guy." And this guy is wearing like a singlet with his boobs exposed, and he got this mullet.
God.
I mean, this is a terrible picture.
Yeah, that's
Like,
bad.
this guy's horrible.
Oh,
he
look,
got,
he got them
the
big old
viscera
titties.
singlet on.
Basically,
He's got the
he
viscera
They got them tiggo bitties, guys.
basically asked from Demolition said, I fucked up on my first one I was making. Just take this one, man. I forgot to put like the bling on it. Just take it, man. Yeah. Yeah.
God bless.
And I stumbled across this guy by accident, Randy Hogan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Who looks like Hulk Hogan's great uncle. So if I hate Hulk Hogan as bad as I do, then I hate this guy just as equally. So
The hate for is
he's
real. with
trash.
you, Hogan.
He's
He does.
I gotta be real. The hate for Hulk Hogan, I have trouble understanding the hate for Hulk Hogan.
I hate Hulk Hogan simply because the politics that were attached to Hulk Hogan's career. Several decisions were made to change the course, and Hogan was like, "Nah, we're not doing that."
But what
It
about
won't
the
work for me,
Goldberg?
brother.
What about Goldberg though?
Well,
You know Goldberg,
I
didn't
knew Goldberg was going. He did, but look how temporary that was. Goldberg had a run, and Hogan had no. He had no. I think that was going to happen eventually anyway. You're going to hit a course like for Goldberg to be as hot as he was, and for Hogan to kind of just be stale. At some point or another, they were going to have to meet each other, and it made no sense. You either have to kill the streak, or you got to take the title off Hogan.
Well, not to mention that's only one example in his 40-year career.
Right.
He only had two. He only had two. I counted them two. It's
Right.
Dad and Warrior.
And then plus
Warrior,
what
yeah.
They
happened
put
at
Sting over in '97.
what happened at what happened
yeah,
at
that match
Starrcade?
was
What
not
happened at
what it should've
Starrcade
been, but
to
yeah.
me was just one of his biggest political pulls for him to say. I mean, Sting, another one. Sting on the hottest course of his career.
ever.
Hogan mediocre and
Yes.
stale.
Yep.
At some point, they should have hit each other, and it didn't make any sense for you to kill Sting's momentum. And what did they do? It had a screwy finish.
No, man.
And then you talk about the Legend Killer gimmick. I've talked about this. The Legend Killer gimmick.
Michaels.
Randy Orton was killing it. It made no sense for Hulk Hogan to beat Randy Orton
Shawn
at that
Michaels-
point.
the Shawn Michaels
Shawn
match.
Michaels
Yeah.
match made no reason because then he beat Shawn Michaels, and next thing you know, there's no rematch. There's no rubber match.
But
Like,
Shawn Michaels did the ultimate troll move.
Oh,
when he
yeah.
did
Oh,
SummerSlam
he did great
05.
with that, yeah.
I got us off track with the Hogan thing. Sorry.
No, you're
And
fine.
I totally get
Yes.
why now. in that sense.
I get it. What about Funaki?
Oh, Lord.
Yep.
Funaki was a solid one.
Yeah,
Funaki was.
He's not.
And now he's on the announce teams for the.
he sure is. Yeah.
He's got that perfect hair. He's always.
Yeah. I actually, it's the only one we've named I actually like. So
Yeah,
far,
Funaki
I
was
can't
a great one.
stand anybody we've named. Talk about referees. I got a referee jobber, Danny Davis.
Yep.
Danny Davis. Danny Davis.
There was a dangerous Danny Davis one time. Oh, you're so dangerous.
What is dangerous about you, Dan?
Yeah.
Hey,
What was-
Dan, what's the haps? What's so dangerous?
There was a 6-man tag match he was a part of with the Hart Foundation. What
Yeah.
was the significance of that? It had something to do with him turning on somebody or a fast count or
yeah, 'cause
to
he was
build
like a
that up.
screwy referee.
Yeah, okay.
You remember Shane McMahon being a referee at sometimes?
I do.
Go back and look
I
at some
remember
old
that.
stuff.
So
yeah.
he was what was the guys from WCW, the NWO?
Nick Patrick.
He was Nick Patrick before Nick Patrick.
And Joey Morella, R.I.P.
Yeah.
That was Gorilla Monsoons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chance is going to check, make sure that we're
Yeah.
still recording.
I didn't
No,
even think-
you're good. You're good. I just
Yeah,
want to make sure.
we're just rolling.
Okay.
Yay! Good job, Chance.
What does it say we're at? Did you say? How much?
54.
Oh man, we're rolling.
Oh, wow.
That mean Gene?
You got that mean Gene?
Yes,
I just
sir.
wanted to make sure, guys.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. They
We
get,
got another one to shoot.
we got to get a mirror.
Absolutely.
Up
Is there
there.
any tag team jobbers? that you might
The
have?
Ding Dongs?
Actually, I have one too. Yeah,
They're trash.
Doug Furnace and Phil LaFawn.
Oh,
Doug Furnace. They've got to be the GOAT tag team.
Doug Furnace.
They got to be the GOAT tag team jobbers.
Who y'all like better, Doug Furnace or Doug Funny?
Oh, Doug Funny.
Doug Funny.
Shout
Doug
out to Bluffington. Love that place. Phil.
That's
Here's
a
somebody who said, "Ooh, man, I can't wait for the WrestleMania card to come out." Phil LaFawn's going to be on it. Never heard that. Never. Not one time.
Oh,
Never.
man.
Feel fine.
The Ding Dongs were terrible.
They were
They're the goats. Like
They are the worst tag team.
Yeah, that-
wasn't that what's your boy?
Jim Hurt.
Yeah, Jim Hurt.
Pizza Hut, man.
He's a piece of man. He's a piece of.
But there's been several like tag teams come out underneath like flesh colored garments and call themselves human body parts. Like, it's like what the hell? Like,
How many
why?
Mr. Wrestlings was there? Like
So would you say the gobbledygooker is? They never wrestled.
1,000% would say the gobbledygooker is. Was it Hector Guerrero, right? Yeah.
Was that who it was?
Yeah, Hector Guerrero. Yeah.
Wow.
Could have.
Were the Dicks also a jobber?
They,
tag?
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Jobbers.
I mean,
Didn't
yeah,
they lose to the Flying Elvises or something?
Flying Elvis.
The Flying Guns.
The Flying, like Jimmy Wayne Yang and a couple others.
Jimmy Shotgun Saturday Night. Yeah, I'll say them watch that too. God, I'm a nerd.
Only thing I remember about Shotgun Saturday Night is the episode where somebody got pile drive right by the escalator and their hair
Triple
almost
H.
got. Yeah, he almost got his hair
Taker
caught on the escalator.
power drive them down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how he didn't get caught.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
that was
Scary
scalped
looking.
his
That
ass.
was like Final Destination shit before
yeah,
the movie.
yeah,
came out.
yeah.
I guess my last jobber, I'll say, 'cause we'll get a long time. And Chad, you should get him on one of your songs. Great guitarist, Man Mountain Rock.
Who? Man Mountain Rock.
Look at him. Just look him up. Just look him up.
Man Mountain Rock.
Just look at him.
I would argue and
great
say Heavy
guitarist.
Metal Van Hammer would probably be
Yes,
better.
Van
I didn't name him, but look who's second on my list. Right besides Salvatore Sincere.
Hey, imagine PN News with Van Hammer and Man Mountain Rock. I mean,
That was the original three-man band?
yeah.
But that guitar was dope. When he had
Yep.
that WWF one on there, that was pretty dope. I hate his guts though. You know who he looks like? I know he became.
he looks cool right here.
Yeah, he just
I hate him.
dreadlocks and
Yep.
everything.
Look at him. You know you seen him slamming and jamming back in the day. You know you did.
He had a lowered S10 with sandbags in it in 20s.
Please get him on. Just get him some just frying
Man,
frying the guitar on the song.
Man Mountain Rock might be the best one we've named. I didn't even know about that one.
He sucked.
I was a Van Hammer fan. Though.
Yeah.
Was he before
I was-
or after
He-
Van Hammer?
They were around the same time. He was just in WCW at
Yeah.
that time when he was in WWF.
But Van Hammer just acted like he played. He couldn't really play the guitar. He just acted like
we can look at this guy and say he didn't play the guitar. It's like me holding a guitar.
I can't hold one neither.
No, me either.
That was great.
I do have one I have to mention
Get him
before
in
we
here.
go. Rest in peace, Freddie Joe Floyd, Tracy Smothers.
R.I.P. to
Yeah.
GOAT.
Yeah.
I held
Tracy
back from
Smothers.
saying that because
Tracy Smothers.
he was a jobber though, but he was great. R.I.P. for
Good
sure.
call.
Yeah.
Good one.
Yeah,
That's a
I
good
like
one,
that
Chad.
for sure.
Also
Yeah.
went as Mustafa Ali.
Yeah.
Down in
Oh,
Memphis.
good.
Yep.
And with the Nation, yeah.
Did we name James Ellsworth?
Nope.
No, we
didn't.
didn't.
He was
Like
a
low-
good one, though.
Yeah.
For like recent, you know.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah,
I
he
like
got a
that.
bag from
That
just
man-
getting thrown
Yeah,
around by
yeah,
Braun
That
Strowman.
man did not have the first inkling of a chin.
Word of the day is Inkling.
Hey, Jimmy E, what's the haps with your chin or lack thereof?
Look down.
I like him though.
But he
I like
got
those
it.
guys.
I like him.
He
Who
got
was
a
the girl
bag
he was
from-
with?
Carmella.
Carmella, yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Wow.
I think he came. What was it? Strowman, I think, was his first
yeah,
match in
Strowman,
it.
yeah.
And of course, you throw him in a ring against Strowman. Strowman's just
Well,
Yeah.
throw anybody in.
yeah. And then got a freaking a year-long contract with the WWE off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Braun Strowman's tag team partner too, the little 9-year-old kid.
Little 9-year-old kid.
He's undefeated though. He's never lost a match. Everybody talks about the goats. He's the Bill Russell of wrestling.
What they
Like Bill
vacate-
Russell won
Hot
90-day
take.
championships. There was 4 teams in the NBA. And when everybody's no, okay, no.
What they vacate the tag title
Yeah.
after they
Yeah,
won?
yeah.
Okay. Dude had to get to school or something.
He's the Bill
My
Russell.
dog said Bill Russell won the
Don't get me
first
wrong,
9
Bill
rings
Russell was
when there was
great.
4 teams.
He was
in it.
great, but it was 4 teams, and 9 of the players were just like plumbers during the day. It's the truth. Look it
Facts.
up. Look it up.
Facts.
Not lying to you.
It's true, dude.
Oh,
Well, guys, this has been episode 53.
this is
Holy
an epic.
shit.
This
Wow.
has been an
This is
epic
the best episode we've ever
Oh
recorded.
my gosh, this has been
not even
fantastic.
Good
Oh,
stuff.
I'm just glad to be on.
Yeah. Shout out.
Thank you,
to
Brandon, for coming
E.
on
Yeah,
here.
thanks, Brandon E.
Stick
man,
around next week. He'll be on next week's episode too.
for sure. So y'all be sure to hit the subscribe button. Be sure to go to www.singularwireless.com. Use over the top bitch as a code, and you get 15% off your next bill. Also,
www.
Pro.
Fight,
You gotta want
fartbuckets.
it. That was a
Fartbuckets.com.
slogan. You gotta want
Make sure
it.
you get your tie-dye
Pro.
hammer pants.
Gotta want it. That's all they had for the Ico Pro tagline.
Stop by Old Country Buffet.
Please do.
Hell yeah.
And I might add you on my MySpace page if you do.
If you can't find them, just ask Jeeves.
All right, hey, dude.
We gotta
Shout
end
out to Trouble Spirits. Shout out to Revolution One Media. Shout out to BJ the DJ. Shout out Brandon E. Shout out to the Natural Disasters, Sting, Mean Gene,
Not
Mini
Mean
Mean Gene.
Jimmy Hart, baby, Jimmy Hart. All my drinks at Jimmy Hart's Beach Club. You can't bring glass on the beach. You can only bring plastic. They can't bring glass on the beach, baby.
We out this motherfucker.
Bow.